What's up, YouTube? It is your boy JB, and we are here today with a review for PValley Season 2, Episode number 3, you guys. The episode is titled The Dirty Dozen, you guys. So, before we go ahead and get into this review, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel and you guys aren't subscribed to the channel, I'm going to need you guys to do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know you can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to my channel, turning on your post notifications, and also by sharing the video. And with that, you guys, without further ado, let's go ahead and discuss PValley, shall we? Down in the valley where the girls get naked. If you throwing bands, then you know she gon' shake it. 1, 2, break 'em. 3, 4, break 'em. These niggas grind hard, but these bitches grind harder. Climbing up the pole just to get out the bottle. The crowd below stay ready for the show. The pimps, we make ballin' on the sky look easy. Look at my bitches gangster walking on the ceiling. Okay, I'm done. So this episode, you guys, it was a good episode. So we see Roulette. So Roulette is in the Paradise Room. I finally remembered the name of the room. So she's in the Paradise Room and she is swinging from this pole. And I'm like, okay, Roulette, you better get it. You better get it, Roulette. So then she is, baby, when I tell y'all Roulette was butt ass naked, and thank you guys for letting me know who the girls' names are. So we got Roulette, Whisper, and Big Bone. And also, I knew that Tyler Lepley's girlfriend, Miracle Watts, was on here. I just did not know that was her that was playing Big Bone. Okay, cool. So Roulette, butt ass naked, her titties out. Then she took her thong off, and you know she ain't got no panties on, she ain't got no bra on, and she just got her mask on. So old dude is like, take your mask off, I want to see your lips. She was like, these lips ain't good enough for you. So he says, he pays her to take her mask off, and she was like, okay, you pull it, you take it off. So he pulls it down. He says, oh yeah, you definitely got some dick sucking lips. I was like, excuse you, sir? Say what? And he was like, how much for you to give me some sloppy toppy? I said, whoa. That ain't what we doing, Uncle Clifford. I know Uncle Clifford got a rule for that, and baby, yes, Uncle Clifford definitely got a rule for that one. So he pays her, how much did he pay her? I think he gave her a brick to suck his dick. So she takes the chair that he's in and she pushes it out of the way of the camera, and he pulls his dick out and she goes to town on it. I'm like, you nasty heifer. So you finna give all the girls at the Pink a bad name. So niggas gonna come to the Pink thinking that they can get a lap dance and a dick sucked in the same night. Okay, so then we see Mercedes. So Mercedes is talking to Coach. You guys know who Coach is. Coach is the client that is smitten with Mercedes. You guys remember last season when Mercedes was ready to get out, have her last. Speaking of which, Mercedes' last dance, girl, we still ain't got that last dance yet. I don't think Mercedes is in a position where she can actually give that last dance, especially after that raggedy bitch Patrice Woodbine stole her money for her gym. So she's talking to Coach. And, she's, remember last season, like I said, Coach wanted to invest into her gym. But you guys remember, Coach is married. And, so she's asking about his wife. So I guess Coach is going to set something up between him, her, and the wife. Interesting. So then we see Terica. So you guys know Terica is Mercedes' daughter, but she lives with Shell, her stepmother. Technically, that's her stepmother. So Terica is picking up a box, and this one woman, the woman that she's asking the box from, she's like, "Oh, Pastor Woodbine, come on over here. Come on over here. Look at this young lady. She is trying to pick up 2 boxes for her neighbor." And so Patrice was like, "Oh." And Terica lied to Patrice. Now, see, Patrice is kind of like, I know people like Patrice who love going to church, love the Lord, but baby, they will cuss you out in a heartbeat. Because Terica said something smart to her, and she said, "I'll stomp a mud hole in your ass." I was like, "Well, damn." So Patrice, she says, "Where's your mama?" She said she's at home asleep. She was like, "Shell is asleep in the middle of the day." She was like, "Yes." So Patrice says, "Bring her 4 boxes on over here," and so she leaves. So you guys, let's pause here and move forward. So we see Murder and the crew. You know, they are at a gas station. In this scene, I was looking at, and I know that I'm pretty sure a lot of these people, when they saw, because you know, early on in the pandemic, a lot of people didn't have masks, and they just said, make sure that your face is covered. And you know, in a lot of stores, even Walmart and stuff like that, they were selling bandanas, and I actually, at one point, I had a pink bandana, and I would, whenever I didn't have my mask, like I have one, two, one, two, three. I have 3 masks. So I have one that's around that, and actually it's so funny. I wore it before the pandemic even hit, because whenever I was working at my last job in 2019, it's one of those things that you just put around your neck. You know, you just sit it around your neck, but you can pull it up. And people laughed at me when I put that thing up around my nose, because I went to the gym one day and I put that thing all the way up. I'm like, my face sweats and shit, so shit, let's let this thing soak up the sweat. And people were laughing. And then it came in handy when the pandemic hit. So if that was dirty and my other 2 masks that I had were dirty, I would just put on that bandana. And I know people, and you know, people probably looked at me, a black man, like I was crazy, because now I would never go to a gas station like what they did. They went into the gas station, they were buying some stuff, and the woman was scared and she was about to hit that panic button. I'm like, bitch, really? I really sat there and looked at that woman like, bitch, are you serious? They ain't even done nothing to you. If they were going to rob you, they would have already come up to the damn cash register and told you to give them all the money that they got. But they didn't do that, and here you are just racially profiling some niggas. So then they bought the shit in a gas station and they left out, and you know, they're doing a little photo shoot of Murder and Mississippi. And you guys remember that game that they were playing last week where you wink at the person and they gotta play dead? This is really foreshadowing. They are foreshadowing death surrounding Little Murder. Death is in the midst of Little Murder's crew. I don't necessarily think it's going to be Little Murder that dies. Honestly, you guys, who I think might be the person that might die, Big Teak. Big Teak. I feel, because literally, death has been foreshadowed in every episode so far surrounding Little Murder. The first episode, when the guy, when they drove up and when Murder went to go reach for his gun, that was kind of foreshadowing death. They're riding around in a hearse. Oh God, a hearse. Hell to the no. It might be decked out, but bitch, like I said in last week's review, there is no way on God's green earth you are getting my living ass in the back of a hearse. Wouldn't be me. So yeah, they're foreshadowing death. They're foreshadowing death. So then we see Uncle Clifford. So he's looking at this fly for Little Murder and, Keyshawn. So Autumn is like, well, how about we invite them back? And Uncle Clifford was like, absolutely not. We are not inviting them back. But, Autumn is like, but we need a headliner. And he was like, well, the reason why your headliner is out of commission is because of you. I told you not to open up the pint when you did, and then you opened it up and you burned all my chicken. So, yeah, that was on you. So he said, so this is about 85% your fault and 15% my fault. And she was like, how about 68%? He was like, 75, no. Something like, he said, like, what did she say? He said 85% her fault. Then they were countering. She said, I think she said 75. He said 68. She said 69. He said deal. So then she says to Uncle Clifford, like, with the headliner, how about we make it Whisper and Roulette? And Uncle Cliff was like, you can do that, but Mercedes is gonna be pissed. And I'm gonna tell her it was all your idea. So then he was like, but we need a DJ. And Roulette was like, not Roulette, but Big Bone was like, I can do it. He was like, I'd rather have Big L do it. And Autumn was like, but you was just bouncing to her playlist. He says, okay, you know what? DJ Boo, that's you. Child, y'all know how Big Bone is. And we gonna see Big Bone later in while she's in the booth. So then we see Wayne. So Wayne is speaking at I don't know if it was a church service or what, but he was speaking, and then who do we see out in the audience? That motherfucking Patrice Woodbine. So what Wayne is doing is, Wayne, you guys know that there is that referendum that Uncle Clifford and Patrice came up with about in regards to the casino, as they say, casino. But you know what, we do say that. I mean, listening to them talk, I hear my aunts, my uncles, and my grandmother when they talk. I hear her. See, when they say her, burr. It's a lot of things that they say, and it's just like, oh my. I know you guys talk about the accents I know we talk about the accents. The accents, I don't know too much how a Mississippi accent sounds, but I do know country when I hear country. And I do know the words that some of the words that they say. Now, we don't, you motherfucker. Do we say motherfucker like that? I think we do. Well, we'll put motherfucking ass. Yep. See, like, I know we talk about the accents, you guys, but some of the things I think that they could work on the accents a little bit more, but the words, they spot on. I can't with how spot on the words are. So with Patrice, Wayne is telling this one preacher to have, tell his congregation to vote for vote yes for the casino, right? Patrice is getting up and like, I am not telling my parishioners to vote for that damn referendum. That is the one thing that I might have to agree with that raggedy bitch on. Y'all know I can't stand that motherfucker. Y'all know I can't stand her motherfucking ass. Oh, I can't stand Patrice Woodbine, raggedy heifer. So we see Lil Murda and Keyshawn. Actually, we didn't see them. We saw Big Frida perform. I was like, come on, Frida. Come on, Frida. So Rome took a picture of Mississippi and Murda, and he posted it on social media. She was worried about that. He was like, girl, don't worry about it. Your boyfriend don't follow me. I'm like, but if you tag her in it, he will probably be able to see it. Derek, I don't trust the little white boy as far as I can throw his ass. And Mississippi, I'm going to need you to, bob, weave, and punch when you see Derek the next time. Because it's going to be on and popping. I'm just telling you that right here, right now. So you guys, let's pause here and move forward. So next up, we see Mercedes, and she's getting ready to go to this meeting that she's going to be having with Coach and with his wife, whose name is Farrah. So Terica calls her and she says, like, when are y'all starting up? And Mercedes says, girl, Shell is not letting you come. And Terica's like, but I can talk to her. And then we see, when she says something about Shell, we see Shell's ass on the couch, passed out. I'm like, that bitch is drunk. And we'll talk about Shell a little bit later. So Mercedes goes into I think it's a penthouse. So Mercedes go in, and so this is her first time being at Coach's place, and the place is badass. So she met Farrah, and she told Farrah the place is beautiful. Farrah's like, beautiful? Now I don't say beautiful. That is not a word that I say, beautiful. I ain't never heard that. Only person that I know, well, I don't know personally, but the only person that I know that says beautiful is Scrappy from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. So Coach comes down, and Farrah hands Mercedes a contract as well as an NDA. I was like, ooh. and it's just nasty. NDA, like he comes to the club. If I wanted to put Coach's business out, bitch, I would have done put Coach's business out. But Mercedes ain't done that. But you know what? Mercedes needs this, so I'm a leave it be. So then we see, so we're back with Lil Murda them. So Big T, he notices Pico. That's the nigga that Murda knocked out, right? He got on blue and gold, and he's asking Wody when he started wearing blue and gold, and Wody's like, I guess after that nigga like laid his ass out. So Pico comes over there with them. Oh, I remember. I was trying to remember what is the issue. That is right. That is right. Because he said trade. Because he was like, you know, when Murda come out with his next album, it's gonna be called Trade Tales. That is right. He did. Okay. I think I remember this. He caught Uncle Clifford and Lil Murder. I believe you guys can correct me, but I think that's what happened because he's hinted at it more than once that the nigga ain't who he says he is. So then we see Mercedes. So you know she is sitting with Coach and with Farrah. She's looking at some of the. So Farrah, I guess, was a photographer. She's not anymore because of Coach. So she's looking at the photos. She's talking about how good the photos are, and then Coach leaves, and you know Farrah's like, "Wow, no one's ever, you know," because there was a picture, I guess, where Farrah took a picture over Coach, and she was talking about it, and Farrah's like, "No one's ever said it like that." So Farrah knows what Coach does because she's like, "You ain't the only hoe," and Mercedes like, "I ain't no hoe." And so she said, "You know, he told me that you wanted this okayed by me." She said, "What if I said no?" She said, "I would have respected you, ho." So, child, I was confused for the longest part. I was confused for a very long time with this scene. I was like, is this supposed to be a threesome? Because I was confused because it was really the way that Farrah was looking. Because Farrah literally looked like she was uncomfortable. I'm like, this can't be a threesome because Farrah doesn't look like she's comfortable with this at all. So I'm like, I don't think this is a threesome. So Coach comes downstairs. He tells Farrah that he wants her to see the Mercedes special, and she's like, I don't want to see that shit. But Mercedes started doing she got on the pole and she did the damn thing, and I guess Miss Farrah must have been mesmerized by it, because after a while we saw Farrah, Mama didn't have no clothes on. Her titties was just sitting there, and I was like, well, damn. I was like, okay, Mama, I ain't hating on you. Butt ass naked. She looks, you know, I have to say, all the women look great on this show. I was like, well, damn. Okay. So let's pause here, you guys, and move forward. Next up, you guys, we got Andre. So Andre is on the phone with his wife, and, you know, she's telling Andre that her dad can get him a job if he comes back home. Then she says, when are you coming back home? He says, well, you know, the will reading has been pushed back because of one of Clyde's sons who is getting a grill. I'm like, okay. Hilarious. So then we move over and we see Coach and Mercedes. So they are, in fact, having a threesome with Farrah. Her phone rings, and her phone rang more than once because she was dancing to, and I had never heard this song before, but I've been listening to it, and that song is I love Tiana Taylor. So it's Tiana Taylor, and I believe it's Kehlani. The song is called Morning. So when she first started dancing, then her ringtone that Terica has, it came on, and she stopped it, and she ignored it and went back to dancing. So then while they're having sex, Terica's ringtone hits again. So she says, she answers the phone, and she's like, Terica, I told you I'm working. And it's actually a cop that's on the line telling Mercedes that, you know, Terica got pulled over because she's underage. She's driving under the age limit. And Mercedes like, she don't even have a damn car. He's like, she doesn't, but she's driving the passenger's car, who happens to be Shell, who is in the back seat, drunk as fuck. So he says, you're gonna have to come down here and get her, or else I'm gonna have to take her in. I was like, you're gonna have to take her in for driving? Okay, I didn't know that that was a thing, but okay. So then we see Murder and Keyshawn. So they leave in the club, and then this girl, I think her name was Bougie Badass, she comes screaming for little Murder, and then Pico says, hey, little mama, come over here. And she said, I said murder, and he was like, bitch. He called her bitch, and Big T didn't take too kindly to him calling her a bitch. So Big T wanted to check him, and once again he talking about bitch. You ain't even his type. I was like, ooh. When it comes to Lil Murder, I know why he's doing what he's doing because I don't think his boys are gonna really be too accepting of him being gay. I don't think his boys are gonna be that accepting of it, and I'm worried about. And I think that's another thing. I feel like that's why I think that's one of the reasons why we might be getting a lot of foreshadowing of death. It could be, I don't know. But there, like I've been saying, like I said earlier in the review, there's a lot of death foreshadowed around Lil Murder. So Pico and Big T, they start fighting, and in typical nigga fashion, niggas just start shooting. I'm like, ain't that about a blip? That is one of the reasons why I don't go out these days, because back in my hometown, niggas would get into a fight with each other, and then you would hear pop, 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 pop. And my ass is too goddamn. I am not in my 20s anymore, because in my 20s, baby, I could run to the car and hop in that bitch. In my 30s, I can still run to the car, but by the time my old ass gets to that car, a nigga is gonna be out of breath. So next up, you guys, let's talk about roulette. So like I said earlier in the review, remember, old boy that roulette sucked his dick. Well, he don't went and told his homie that, on top of him getting the lap dance, he got some sloppy toppy. So this one nigga is asking this girl, so you gonna suck my dick? And she was like, no. And he said, but my boy said he got his dick sucked here recently. See roulette, what you done started. So actually, I got ahead of myself. With that scene. Roulette. So Roulette is in the bathroom, and Whisper came in because Roulette started her period. So Whisper gave her, I don't know if that's a tampon or I think that's a tampon. I don't know. That's a tampon, because don't tampon. I don't want to get graphic because I just thought about what I was about to say. Tampons are insert, right? And the pad, I know what a pad is. That I do know. I know what a pad is. Pad, you line your panties with it. But that she handed Roulette, what Whisper handed Roulette, yay or nay, that's all I need. I don't need an explanation. I don't need to know, because I know what it does. I know it. You insert, but that was a tampon. Yay or nay? That's all I need to say. Yay or nay? So I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Whisper scares the shit out of me. There's just something about Whisper that scares the shit out of me. She looks like a witch to me. She gives witchy poo vibes, and she's scary looking. So you guys, let's pause here and move forward. So the pint, you guys, we getting ready to turn up in the motherfucking pint. So bitch, Uncle Clifford, when she came out there and she got on that motherfucking pole, and baby, Uncle Clifford, she did all them tricks. I was like, yes, bitch, you better work. That is my bitch. I'm like, girl, you better do that shit. And you guys do know Uncle Clifford's pronouns is she and her, right? I just want you guys to know that, because I know people probably be like, why do you say she for Uncle Clifford? Her pronouns, she and her. So I forget what Getch's boyfriend's name is. You guys can let me know. I really forgot his name. He pulled up to the club. Big L was there. Big L was like, nigga, are you crying? He says, no. He said, yes, you are. But come on, we got work to do. So Whisper and Roulette. Now, I forgot to mention, when they were in the bathroom, Roulette put some coke on her, and no, Whisper put some coke on her. Roulette sniffed it. And I was like, girl, you gonna trust that from a scary looking woman like Whisper? I wouldn't have trusted it, but okay, go off. So they do their thing on the stage. Roulette once again showing them titties. Uncle Clifford's like, Heifer, what is my rule? Sorry, Uncle Clifford. Now, I forgot to mention earlier in the episode too that remember I told you when Roulette sucked the man's thing, she had her bag of money. Her bag was full of money, and she said something to Mercedes. You know, she was trying to be optimistic. I was with Mercedes when Mercedes told her to mind her damn business. So then we saw Roulette. She is introduced again. I forget what Gidget's boyfriend's name is. Kindly let me know in the comment section, you guys. But I think there's gonna be something going. If Gidget doesn't return, there's gonna be something going on between Roulette and that guy. So we move back over to Shell. So Mercedes got Shell and Terica home. She got Shell in the bathtub. She's spraying Shell. Shell threw up in the bathtub. Now the funny thing to me was the fact that Shell still wants to have so much judgment for Mercedes, but girl, you the one that's riding around with a minor in a car driving your drunk ass around. I get it, Shell ain't got no job because of the pandemic, but girl, a lot of people lost their jobs in the pandemic, and a lot of people had to figure some shit out. A lot of people had to figure some shit out. So, Terica, mind you, overheard this entire conversation. So you guys know the story that Mercedes was 15. She got with Cortez. She lied about her age, and she got pregnant. So and then Cortez, he passed away. Terica stayed with Shell. Shell says the reason that she kept her, even though she had to look in the face of her husband's infidelity, so to speak. The reason why she did that is because that Cortez did not want Mercedes to have Terica. But you sitting there talking about the fact that you had to look in the face of your husband's his affair. I wouldn't have been able to do it. Fuck the honor of a dead man. He didn't honor you. So I'd be like, you know what, Mercedes, you want your baby? Take her. 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 So next up, you guys, Big Bone. Big Bone, this heifer, instead of her turning the music, the heifer is up there twerking once again. I'm like, girl, Big Bone is gonna twerk whenever the hell it fits her. So, like I already talked about this part where the nigga wanted his dick sucked because of what Roulette's raggedy ass has done. So Autumn, she got a text message from Andre. You guys will know they still want to buy the Pank. So at this point, they're still offering $1 million. So Autumn is talking to Uncle Clifford about potentially selling, and it sounds like Uncle Clifford might be on board, but Autumn still wants that $10 million, and she texted them back saying that $1 million, it ain't even a tip, and Corbin tells him, Andre, do whatever it is he got to do to get that heifer to sell. So you guys, let's pause here, and I think we're gonna wrap up the episode. So we see Murder. So Murder in Mississippi, they in the room, and Murder. So when they were at the gas station, he asked the young lady for some postcards. So he's writing postcards to Uncle Clifford, and the first postcard he was writing to Uncle Clifford, it's like, really, that's the best you got? And then he says, I love you. I was like, oh, you guys, I just really want to cry when she read it and it said, I love you. And that's all they said, that's it. I was like, Murder loves himself some Clifford. And you can definitely see it. You can see it. So she was like, okay, well, let's send it. And they running around the room, and then they run to the door. And who's at the door? Big T asking Murder to come with him to the gas station. I keep saying that death is being foreshadowed, and it's somewhere around Big Teak. It's Teak. It's somewhere, I think it might be Big Teak. And I could be wrong, but I feel like it's Big Teak. So they go to the store, and then when they came back from the store, they start reminiscing on something that happened when they were in jail together. So this guy shanked Lil Murder. He narrowly missed his kidneys, but that guy then he was unlived, and Big T was taken to solitary confinement. Lemur would write his raps on like some toilet paper and would slide it under there, and Big T was like that was light for him in a dark time. So then we see Terica. So she's talking to her Mercedes, and she's asking Mercedes, so that shit that Shell was saying, is that true? And Mercedes says yes. She says, but you were never a mistake. She says, were you planned? No, but it was never a mistake me having you. So Terica says, well, why didn't you, basically come back for me? She says, Terica, I was 15 years old. I did what my mama said. I was a stripper, and it wasn't no way that them courts was gonna give a stripper her baby. So Terica feels like anytime when it comes to Mercedes that it's gonna always be an excuse. I was like, oh, poor Terica. So yeah, I already got ahead of myself again with Teak and Murder, but I've already talked about that. And then Pastor Woodbine, to wrap up the episode, we see that raggedy heifer. She got her church, her church, and they praising the Lord. So then Wayne and she called him an overseer. Wayne and a cop comes, and they're gonna shut her down because she's not adhering to the COVID guidelines. You guys remember that you couldn't have more than, how many people could you have? Because it seems like it was a lifetime ago when they said you couldn't have crowds of more than 10 people, and you all had to socially distance. It feels like it was a lifetime ago when we had those COVID restrictions. So he's shutting that down, and she's like, but you ain't shutting down the ass shaking across the street. Nope, because I guess at this point, Uncle Cliff and them ain't done much to Wayne. You the one that's fucking with Wayne, so Wayne is shutting you down at this point. And she's like, you fucking with the wrong bitch, basically. Do I believe that? Absolutely. Only good thing that's coming for Patrice is her going up against the goddamn Corbins. That is the only good thing for Patrice Woodbine right about now. But that is the episode, you guys. Please let me know what you guys thought about it. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on your post notifications, you guys. Share the video, you guys. And until the next time, stay safe. Take care of yourselves, you guys. Wash your hands. Wear a mask. Socially distance. Be blessed. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.